Today we are going to be explaining the entire timeline of Jurassic Park. For fans of the franchise who can get mad at me if I get something wrong, I don't think I will, and for people who want to get started knowing this franchise better, Jurassic Park is a very straightforward timeline. This video is unscripted, even though every time I've gone off book, it has not turned out as a very successful video. But, yeah, I'm just going to go through this. Let's dive right in. Okay, so this timeline spans from 1980. I'm going to change that color. I don't like that color. 1980 to 2024, we'll say. Most recent entry we have is 2023. But the timeline is in 5-year increments. There's a clear divide in the timeline about right here. That's where I would divide it into Jurassic World. It's very hard to write with the mouse. And Jurassic Park. Now you could argue whether this is the correct point. You might also put it in 2005. You'll see why, because a Jurassic Park movie did release in 2001 right there. But, ignoring that, I'm going to erase this. No, I'm not. Okay. In 1980, there's nothing magical or space or anything in Jurassic Park franchise, so it just starts, imagine the real world in 1980. There are genetics companies that are existing during this time because genetic engineering was a developing field. Two companies that exist during this time are InGen and Biosin Genetics. Biosin Genetics was founded in 1977. They're somewhat of undercover rivals. They're not super well-known companies, but they're developing science companies. And another company that exists that will come into play later, but it already exists, is Masrani Global, but it is not a genetics company at this point. In 1980, the CEO of InGen, John Hammond, he is working on an idea, and he wants to build a theme park where he can bring dinosaurs back to life. So in 1983-ish, he buys 5 islands off the coast of Costa Rica for 100 years. That's how long he leases them for. They are known as Los Cinco Muertes, or the 5 Deaths. These islands are Isla Matanceros, Isla Muerta, Isla Sorna, Isla Pena, and which one did I not say already? Did I say Tacaño? There's 5. And you might be noticing, if you know a little bit about this franchise, hey, there's also Isla Nublar. That's the main one, right? Yes, there is. Isla Nublar, though, is not part of this island chain. So with the Costa Rican government, he buys this island, and he starts building construction of the actual park in San Diego. Now, San Diego was, of course, supposed to be the original location of Jurassic Park San Diego, and the dinosaurs were supposed to be born and raised on the island of Isla Sorna, the largest of the 5 Deaths. Nothing, as far as we know, was built on the other islands of the 5 Deaths. Okay, so then, by 1984, 1985, I can't remember which, Hammond realizes that it's not very safe to have the dinosaurs in San Diego, and for about 100 times the cost, he buys another island. I don't know why he didn't just use one of the other Los Cinco Muertes, about 150 miles off the coast of Costa Rica. Or is it 200 miles? I'm sorry, somebody's going to get mad at me for that. I should know that. But, anyways, this island is known as Isla Nublar. And I'm going to draw a little map here. It's going to be very bad. So here's like California, Mexico, Central America, South America. Alright, Costa Rica's, let's say, here. Nublar's here. And then we have Los Cinco Muertes. So those are the main islands that we see. So in 1985, Dr. Wu, who is a scientist recruited by John Hammond, successfully brings back to life the first dinosaur. It was a Triceratops born on Isla Sorna, and shortly after, it's shipped over to Isla Nublar. Completely in secret, over the next 8 years, is that 8? Yeah, I can do math. I can count. Sorry if I sound a little stuffy. I don't know, I have a nose allergy cold thingy. But anyway, during this time, they build Jurassic Park. Remember Biosyn that I told you about? Biosyn, their rival company, they start to figure out, hey, he's spending hundreds of millions of dollars on this island. I wonder what's going on over here. So, one of Hammond's main ideas for Jurassic Park is minimal staff. The island has lots of people who work there, but here, I'm going to draw my very rough mouse-drawn Isla Nublar. And we're going to mark locations on here, too. Wow, that is bad. Okay, I'm going to draw the rivers, too. Okay, anyway, is this audio good? You can't tell me because I'm in the middle of recording the video. Anyway, Biosyn. They don't like this, and one of his few minimal staff members, there's Hammond himself, Ray Arnold, who's a computer guy, and he's also a good character, but he gets eaten. And then, spoilers. Sorry, I will try to not, well, I take that back. This is an explanation of the timeline, so you're gonna get some spoilers, but yeah, anyway, Ray Arnold, Robert Muldoon, who's like the park ranger guy, he looks like a safari tour guide. He's, I got my tranquilizer rifle, I'm gonna go tranquilize the velociraptors. That guy. And then there's, I'm gonna make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. There's Harding, Dr. Harding, who's the medical guy. And there's Dennis Nedry, who is another computer guy, and he debugs the computer program. And they say the computer program has 2 million lines of code. It's a very advanced computer system for the time. Runs the park. They've got, I don't remember the computer, said cray majigger thingy. Anyway, 5 people. They say in the movie they can run the island. 5 people, 3 days. Wow, it is hard to write with a mouse. Okay. Then I'm going to give you a little overview of infrastructure. They have the visitor center there, power plant, some water purification plant. Then we've got all the dinosaur cages are on this part. I'm going to change color for that. Are on this part of the island. They're all cut up into different enclosures. You get the idea. This is beautiful art, super accurate. Anyway, then there's a helipad down here, airport here. Yeah. Anyway, the resort is not yet done, but unfortunately, as you might expect, there are some legal issues with this park. By the way, Dennis Nedry is the Biosyn spy, if I didn't say already. And nobody at InGen knows that. Lewis Dodgson, he's not the CEO of InGen yet. He doesn't become the CEO until 2011, I think it is. But he is the guy who deals with Dennis Nedry. And nobody likes Dennis. He's a slob. But anyway, as the island builds, in 1993, we have the incident. This is the time of the first Jurassic Park movie. As they're building the island, the velociraptors were originally held in the regular enclosure here. There were 8 of them. Unfortunately, they were temperamental, and they had to be moved to a high security paddock closer to the visitor center. The island, I think, was planned to open in 93 or 94 and be done with construction in 96. That didn't happen, spoilers. But anyway, three velociraptors are moved here. I said 8 because 5 of them were killed when a new pack leader was moved in from Isla Sorna. So they're moved there, but during the moving, a worker is killed. They need a lot of money for that, and lawsuits, and the lawyers are thinking maybe this park isn't safe. Nobody's quite sure what's even going on there. Nobody outside of InGen even knows exactly what it is. It's super secret. The public definitely doesn't know that they're building dinosaurs there. But yeah, that's bad. And the lawyers are all on top of Hammond. They're all on top of InGen. And coincidentally, right at this time, Biosyn hires Dennis Nedry to steal dinosaur embryos because they're competitors and they've realized InGen's way ahead of them. They have live dinosaurs. And so Dennis Nedry, he's gonna steal some dinosaur embryos while he's off his shift, and he's gonna, no, not the North Dock, he's gonna make it to the East Dock and sell to the mainland, and he's gonna get paid a lot of money. So it's all stacked up. They bring in some scientists who are main characters in the franchise, Dr. Alan Grant, Dr. Ellie Sattler, and Dr. Ian Malcolm. They move them to the island to go on the tour through the dinosaur exhibits, and they're going to say, Hammond basically hires them to tell the lawyers that the park is secure and that it's safe. It's not. The scientists end up more worried. The lawyers end up wanting to endorse Hammond, and unfortunately, that same day, they're thinking, okay, maybe the park is going to go well. And then Dennis Nedry has to mess everything up. He steals the dinosaur embryos. He has to turn off the security systems to get there. That includes the electric fences, which coincidentally, there's also a big hurricane moving in. Yeah. Sound effects. That's what a hurricane sounds like. It goes. Anyway, the hurricane overtakes the island. Big storm. Dinosaurs everywhere. Dinosaurs breaking out, eating people. The lawyer gets eaten. Ray Arnold gets eaten. Dennis Nedry gets eaten, so Biosyn doesn't figure out how to make dinosaurs. And it's no good. They have to leave the island, and the dinosaurs are left there to fend for themselves. Dr. Wu gets away, though. Dr. Wu is the best. Nobody can tell you otherwise. Seriously. He's the best. Dr. Wu made the whole thing happen. He says, if I didn't innovate, someone else would. But that's not true. He's the GOAT. Anyway, as they move, I'm going to switch colors again, just to keep you on your toes. You got to see which color I'm going to pick next, so you're not going to click off this video. Anyway, 1993, and the dinosaurs had this gene that was the lysine contingency. I'm not going to try to write that. Actually, I am. No, I'm not. The lysine contingency means that the dinosaurs need lysine, and since they need this lysine, they don't have it naturally, which is weird because I think all animals naturally need lysine from their food. The theory was that if they were given lysine by the Jurassic Park staff, they would die after 2 weeks. That way, if they ever made it to the mainland, they couldn't reproduce. This doesn't happen. Apparently, there's some lysine-rich plants on Isla Nublar. I'm going to say this is a lysine-rich plant. The dinosaurs eat the lysine-rich plants. The InGen doesn't know this, but anyway, they survive. And the Isla Nublar remains pretty much undisturbed all the way until 2002. But if you remember, Isla Nublar wasn't the only dinosaur island. There was also Isla Sorna. Now, the Jurassic Park incident put InGen in lots of debt. They want money, and they're losing money, and Hammond's really old, and that's a dollar sign. Never mind. Hammond's really old. He's in bad health. His nephew, Peter Ludlow, is going to take over. Peter Ludlow wants to be like Hammond, but he's also really terrible. And anyway, things are going bad for InGen. There's a deleted scene where they say they're like $100 million in debt. They had $800 million to build Jurassic Park. Which is weird. I actually did some research on this. It would cost way more than that to build Jurassic Park. Anyway, around this time, things are going really bad for InGen. That's means bad for InGen. Biosyn, we don't really know what's happening with them right now. Now, Masrani Global, the owner of Masrani, is actually a friend of Hammond's. His name is Simon. Well, no, his son's name is Simon Masrani, who has become good friends with Hammond, even though he's like 40 years younger. I don't know, maybe he was like his uncle or something. But anyway, as that goes on, 1997 is the San Diego incident. So, the general public doesn't know about Jurassic Park. They don't know about dinosaurs. That has not been revealed. Ian Malcolm, one of the scientists who is the second GOAT after Dr. Wu, he went on TV and said what happened. Nobody believed him. Well, some people did. Only the crazy guy on the subway. And in 1997, Hammond says, "Hey, come down to my mansion. Come visit me." And so he does, and he goes to Hammond's mansion. Hammond's like, "I'm old and I'm dying, but I gotta tell you about this other island, Isla Sorna." Nobody knew about Isla Sorna, well, except for the InGen staff, and most of them are dead. Let's see who died. Ray Arnold died, Muldoon died, Nedry died. Yeah, only 2 of the Jurassic Park staff escaped the island alive. Anyway, 1997. Oh, I gotta say about this. So yeah, InGen wants to take over Isla Sorna. Unfortunately, there's documents and rules and laws that say, oh, you can't take over this, that Hammond made when he was still the owner of Jurassic Park. But then, this little yacht cruise family has to mess it up, and they land on the island. Some compies attacked this kid who survives, thankfully, and InGen's like, oh, Hammond's a little crazy, he made this island, we're gonna get rid of those documents. And so InGen is planning a full-out expedition to go to Isla Sorna. They want to capture dinosaurs, and remember Jurassic Park San Diego? That was the original plan before he bought Isla Nublar. So they want to repopulate that with dinosaurs. Yeah, I'm not going to try to write words anymore with this thing. Anyway, so sorry if you hear people lawn mowing in the background. That's the neighbor's lawn mowing. But anyway, the Hammond also creates an expedition. And they want to go to the island and photograph the dinosaurs in their natural environment so they can show them to people. And then when they show them to people, people won't be happy with the island being exploited. They want to show the animals in their natural environment. And I'm not going to try to draw Sorna because its shape is way more complicated than Nublar. It's got all these crazy rivers and everything. Yeah, that's my attempt at drawing Isla Sorna. It's nothing like that. You can look up a map. I'll put one on screen, actually. But they go to the island, as you'd expect for very few small people on the grounds, as Ian Malcolm would say, in an island of dinosaurs. Doesn't go very well. Tyrannosaurus attack. It's a great movie, The Lost World Jurassic Park, which was released in 1977. It takes place in 1977. In the end, InGen is mostly foiled, but they do get one T-Rex, and he's captured by Ronald Timbo, who is the third GOAT. Yeah, I'm not gonna try writing with this. I said that like 30 times, but I'm still trying to do it so I can do something interesting on screen. This is a very messy drawing. I should have done this with an Apple Pen or something. Is it a touchscreen? No, it's not. Okay, so yeah, but they take one T-Rex back to the island. Unfortunately, during its transport, it breaks out on the boat. It was given improper tranquilization, and the boat crashes. The T-Rex escapes into San Diego, and it's recontained, but people know about dinosaurs. InGen loses their money. They are going into debt. They are even worse off than before. InGen is in terrible state. We have no idea what's happening with Biosyn, but they have not shown back up yet. I will figure out later. They are working on something, but not full force yet. So it works out really well for Hammond, but Hammond dies in, was it 98 or 99? Somewhere here, Hammond is no more. He dies. But before he dies, remember Simon Masrani? He's now the CEO of Masrani Global, and when Hammond dies, he says, "I want you to build Jurassic Park for me." Hammond never really lost his dream of that. So Isla Sorna and Isla Nublar are currently populated with dinosaurs. And immediately after 1977, all these laws get passed to prevent people from... They don't want people to go to Isla Nublar or Isla Sorna. And they make all these laws, the Gene Guard Act, which outlaws a whole lot of stuff. And somewhere around this time, another company is somewhere in here. Another company is formed called Manticore. They don't do much of anything until 2016, but they exist during this time. So yeah, you cannot make more dinosaurs at this time. And then Simon Masrani, in 1999, we transition over to the Jurassic World era, which is separate from the Jurassic Park era because Simon Masrani buys both Isla Nublar and Isla Sorna. After Simon Masrani buys these islands, he buys out InGen, because if he hadn't, InGen would have probably gone completely bankrupt. He buys out InGen, he hires Dr. Wu, and starting in this time, from 1999 to 2002, is the exploitation of Isla Nublar and Isla Sorna. You could say that Isla Nublar continues to 2005. But during this time, the Jurassic World canon gets a little wonky. The timeline should go more like this. It's not super clear a lot of the stuff that happens. We know all four companies were involved. Biosyn was there, Masrani was there, InGen was there, and Manticore were there. They were all working on their secret project with Nublar and Sorna. Illegal species were cloned, including Spinosaurus, the Ankylosaurus, Ceratosaurus, and Coryphosaurus. At this time, there's like 35, there's maybe 30 existent species of dinosaur. Some people on the island in 2001. It's Jurassic Park 3, which is a little wacky of a movie. It got some budget cuts and some director changes and all that. And it was the first one not based on a book, so that one's a little wonky. So we don't know much about this time in Jurassic history. We know that the T-Rex, Rexy, who is the most famous T-Rex in the Jurassic franchise, was captured in 2002, as well as some pteranodons who escaped from the mainland. Jurassic World starts being built around this time here. Around this time, Jurassic World starts getting built. Jurassic World, they spend billions of dollars on that park. It's being built on Isla Nublar. Isla Sorna gets pretty much abandoned. We have no word, well, very little word on Isla Sorna all throughout the rest of the timeline, even though it's the best island. Well, you could argue that Nublar's better, but could you, though? Really? But, anyway, as that's all going on, in 2005, Jurassic World opens with, I think it's 6 species. Lots of species were wiped out during this. If you're familiar with Star Wars, you know, like the Purge of the Mandalorians and all that. It's kind of like that, but for dinosaurs. That's a little wacky. Lots of stuff gets created. Weird research. Dr. Wu likes to work on his secret projects. He starts thinking about hybrid programs. We know Dr. Wu has been a little underhanded since the start. Since he's the one who knows how to do things, he gets bribed for military purposes and all that. Biosyn maybe gets their first dinosaurs. I'm not sure. Manticore probably starts working on their facility sometime around here. The CEO of Manticore is, I'm not going to say who it is in case you haven't watched Camp Cretaceous. They are friends with Simon Masrani. But as this continues, the we don't know what happens to Spinosaurus too. There's lots of weird stuff with Spinosaurus. Its skeleton is on the main street of Jurassic World, but then it's also not dead because it's in Cretaceous, whereas it's the same one because of some Dino Tracker files. It's a weird time in Jurassic history, and usually YouTubers generally avoid talking about it because it's going to make somebody mad, whatever you say. Personally, I think Isla Sorna is still populated, but the ecosystem took a huge hit. We're just going to blank that out there. The ecosystem probably took a huge hit, and it's not as magnificent as it probably was in the 1990s. And Jurassic Park, making of Jurassic Park pretty much shut down during this time as far as in the real world side of things. They stopped making movies in 2001 because Jurassic Park 3 was a bit of a flop. I mean, it still made $300 million, but compared to the 700-something million of Lost World and the 1.1 billion of Jurassic Park, it pretty much stops. And the Jurassic World branding and stuff starts around this time. So in universe, in 2005, Jurassic World opens. It receives hundreds of thousands of visitors. They're adding new species every year. It goes really successful. Not much happens. Jurassic World is successful. Biocid's probably lurking in the shadows somewhere. And we know that InGen really wanted to use Jurassic World to do tests. They did the amalgam testings during the early 2000s on Isla Sorna. Little is known about that, but that's when the start of looking into military research for dinosaurs. Maserati Global was somewhat of a wholesome company. You could say the most wholesome. Sorry about that. But on the surface, by buying out InGen was less, let's say, what's the word I'm looking for? I know the word I'm looking for. Ethical. Less ethical. They want to use... Isla Sorna was like the perfect playground for genetic research, and now it's gone, and all they have left is Isla Nublar with Masrani's Jurassic World. So, that they don't like that, and they start bribing Dr. Wu to work on secret projects. I'm going to make another video on every hybrid in the Jurassic franchise. In 2008, that's when hybrid research, 2006 hybrid research really starts. The Mosasaurus is born. That's not a hybrid, it's just a Mosasaurus. A lot of people see like every creature in the Jurassic World that's not paleo accurate and say, oh, it's a hybrid. No, Jurassic Park dinosaurs aren't paleo accurate because I'm going to try to draw a double helix. Watch this, it's going to be really bad. When they get the dinosaur DNA from amber, that's how they resurrect the dinosaurs. You got all your genes, and then every now and then there's a missing one, and they didn't really want to know what to do there. And since dinosaurs are birds/reptiles, the obvious choice to fill in the genes was, of course, frog DNA, right? So then they take some frog DNA, and that's how they filled in the genetic gaps. So you don't get paleo-accurate dinosaur. That's the in-universe explanation. But I do want to mention that at the release of Jurassic Park, the dinosaurs were very up-to-date, and they just haven't changed them. Oops. Okay, they just haven't changed them. The dinosaur, 2008 is the birth, 2008/9, the birth of the Scorpius Rex was the first hybrid. Being the first hybrid, it was diseased. It was not a healthy animal. It was very ugly. Simon Masrani said to Dr. Wu, no, don't put this on display. It's wrong. Destroy it. But Dr. Wu wanted it for research purposes, so he froze it in cryogenic storage. Then, 2000. 10, things go pretty much smoothly. Lewis Dodgson becomes the CEO of Biosyn, and then in 2011 or I think it's 12, they wanted to do research into dinosaur intelligence, specifically velociraptors. And when these velociraptors were born, they did a lot of research on this program. Blue the Velociraptor was born, who was altered with monitor lizard DNA, and so was, later this year, the Indominus Rex, you could say the first successful Jurassic Park hybrid. You could argue that there were 3 more in here. It's unclear whether or not the Spinoraptor, Stegoceratops, and Ankylodicus were canonical. If they were, the Stegoceratops was probably more around here. But anyway, that's for another video. The Indominus Rex was born. The Indominus Rex was a extremely modified creature that Dr. Wu and InGen said to Maserati, "Oh, this is a new attraction for the park." But really, it was a huge step for military ultra dinosaurs. The Indominus Rex was bulletproof. It could camouflage, avoid heat detectors. It was pretty much the perfect biological weapon as far as InGen was concerned. It's unclear if Biosyn had anything to do with this. It was modified with DNA that Biosyn only had, so it's possible they were working with InGen in this process, or their spies were. But the two Indominus Rex were born at this time, and they grow up for the following 3 years. During this time, the Indominus Rex eats the sibling. That's how they learn that they are antisocial. And then in 2015, this is the Jurassic World incident. This is Jurassic World, the #1 most successful Jurassic movie. I don't think it's the best. Jurassic Park was better, but it's the most successful as far as money goes. In this movie, Jurassic World, it's going strong, it's doing its best. Budgets are going great. Maserati is super happy with it. Of course, he, on the side, runs an energy company. He does lots of stuff outside of Jurassic World. Dr. Wu mostly manages that side of things. But the Indominus Rex breaks out, partially because it was engineered to. It's smart, and it clawed up the wall, lured people into the exhibit, and when they had the people run out, the Indominus Rex escaped through the gate. And in a matter of 1 day, let's see, how many years is this? 15 years of work on Jurassic World. The most successful dinosaur park in the Jurassic franchise is shut down in 1 day by the Indominus Rex.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the Indominus Rex is killed by lots of things. A concrete door closes on it, an entire armed team of ACU staff, a machine gun, a rocket launcher to the face, 4 velociraptors, T-Rex, Ankylosaurus, and a Mosasaurus. But the good thing is that the Indominus Rex died and the research was lost. Dr. Wu was moved off this island to a secret InGen facility. He doesn't show back up again until here. But anyway, that's actually not the end of it. 6 guests are left on the island. That's Camp Cretaceous. They made 5 seasons of the show. While they're on the island, the Scorpius Rex gets out of cryogenic storage, and it disrupts Isla Nublar's natural systems. Isla Nublar, just like Isla Sorna was, and Isla Nublar, it's locked down, quarantined, nobody's allowed to go there. The Camp Cretaceous people, they find Dr. Wu's laptop, because in the opening scene of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, we can see Dr. Wu's still working on his hybrid research for InGen. I feel like at this point, Dr. Wu didn't really want to do this. At first he was interested in science, and now he's being controlled to make weapons, but he can't do much else. Then, Dr. Wu, after he's at this location, but he can't start from scratch. He had, 15 years of work on making hybrids. If he starts from scratch, it's going to take him 15 more years to make hybrids. Maybe not quite as long, but it'll take years. So he goes back to the island to retrieve bones from the Indominus Rex, and his laptop, which has all his research on it. Unfortunately for Dr. Wu, he does not get his laptop. It's downloaded on a USB and destroyed by the Cretaceous characters, who afterwards escape the island. They make it to Manticorp Island, where they have a biodome facility, lots of dinosaurs. Season 4 was a little weird, too many robots, not enough dinosaurs. But it's a cool idea. That gets shut down. It becomes a bit of a dinosaur sanctuary. We don't really know what happened to Manticorp Island. But anyway, there are still lots of sources of hybrid DNA, and Dr. Wu does successfully get the Indominus Rex bone, but not his laptop. And in 2017, the Indoraptor was born. The Indoraptor was more battle-ready than the Indominus Rex. The Indominus Rex is a 50-foot giant creature. The Indoraptor can fit in a large room. The Indoraptor responds to laser pulses that are attached to guns, which doesn't make sense because if you can hit someone with a laser pulse to make the Indoraptor go hunt them down, why didn't you just shoot them? But anyway, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is in 2018. Isla Nublar has its little volcano right here. That's been dormant since the 1500s when Isla Nublar was first discovered. Dormant until the plot says it's not dormant anymore, and the volcano erupts. The whole north half of the island is destroyed in this eruption, but the dinosaurs are not all killed. During this time, InGen sent people to the island to retrieve some dinosaurs. They said they were going to send them to a sanctuary island, and to convince Owen Grady to help them capture Blue. He was the one who raised and trained Blue, Delta, Charlie, and Echo, the 4 Jurassic World Raptors. Sorry, I'm coughing. There's something in my throat. But anyway, they get those dinosaurs, but really they're trying to sell them, which is very bad. The only one they want is Blue, so they can create a better Indoraptor. The current Indoraptor has some design flaws, and when they can mass-produce Indoraptors, it's going to be very bad. So, by 2018, they're moved to Lockwood Manor. Lockwood was Hammond's partner. They both worked together on Jurassic World. Sorry, Jurassic Park, not Jurassic World. They both worked together on Jurassic Park until, well, Jurassic Park was created. But Lockwood and Hammond left each other sometime around here, maybe even back here in the 80s, because Lockwood used genetic cloning to create a clone of his daughter who died, and it's a little strange for the Jurassic franchise, but it's an interesting idea. Then, as it moves on, after the eruption of Mount Sibo, a lot of the dinosaurs escape from Lockwood Manor, and they escape into the wild. As you can imagine, this creates lots of issues, and finally Biosyn gets their chance. InGen collapses after 2018. Dr. Wu is found by Biosyn. Biosyn starts creating dinosaurs in their facility in the Dolomite Mountains in Italy. And in 2023, sorry, 2023, Jurassic World Dominion, which is actually almost a year old now. Jurassic World Dominion, not much really happens. Biosyn gets shut down though, and Biosyn Valley becomes Biosyn Sanctuary. So we have 2 operational dinosaur sanctuaries. Isla Sorna might still have dinosaurs on them. On the Dino Tracker website, which is canonical, there are clues that there might have been surviving dinosaurs brought to the mainland in Biosyn Valley during this time. There's a dinosaur black market, yet unresolved. And that's pretty much it so far. As far as what's coming up in the Jurassic franchise, we know we're getting at least one more animated show, hopefully live action shows, and probably more movies. Let me know what you want to see from the Jurassic franchise. Thank you. Please like and comment.